Public service announcement. We need to talk about Shannon. We're here at Tullyglass Hill and I want to let you know why you should ignore the two Johnnies, why you should come out to Shannon and let people know what a great town it is, the history, the industry and innovation of one of Ireland's newest towns. I know what you've been saying, and you need to apologise to the people of Shannon because they deserve your love and respect. And it all starts right here in Shannon Airport. If you think about Ireland in the 1800s, in 1847, we had the worst year. It was the worst year of the famine. Well, look at all the change that happened in a century. By the 1930s, the airport was being built here. The first transatlantic flights were taking place in 1945, and by 1947, the first duty-free airport in the world was right here. The change, the innovation, when people were poor, when people had nothing, it didn't matter because we had our minds, we had our creativity, and look at what can be accomplished. It has brought so much business, tourism, and opportunity to the Midwest of Ireland. Now tell me that's not something to be proud of. What an airport, one of, if not the best airports in Ireland and Europe. Shannon Free Zone, it's another first. Brendan O'Regan was one of the leaders in getting this set up. It meant an incentive for businesses to come to this area from all over the world. So we have companies like Zimmer, GE, and even Jaguar who have set up businesses here, factories employing thousands of people in the region. That has allowed for our families to have choice. They don't have to emigrate, they don't have to just go to Dublin or to the big cities, they can stay where they are from. And this idea, it's spread all over the world. In 2005 and in 2012, we had the Chinese premiers come to the town because China, as you'll have known, has had a surge economically in the last few decades. They based their innovations on what happened here, where we stand. What a history in terms of business, trade, and international relations. 1960, there was big change in Shannon. The airport was built and the factories were being constructed, but they needed housing for the workers. So they put forward a proposal, and here on Drumgeely Hill, they constructed over 130 apartments and 10 detached houses. They're still here and they're still in use. This was where the town started, and it's where the community began. Now, as the town grew and grew throughout the 60s and 70s and 80s, more people came to the area, to the newest town in Ireland. And you had people trying to escape the troubles up north who just wanted a restart, who were able to come down here, and they came with nothing in some cases, but they were able to build new lives, new opportunities. And I think that's something that people kind of dismiss when it comes to Shannon. It is a town of beginnings and of renewal and of new opportunities. I myself have been lucky enough to experience that because I was a resident here, not just of Shannon Town, but of these apartments. That is the apartment I lived in myself for 8 years, and I have wonderful memories there with my family. And I think it's important to remember how significant the legacy of Shannon is to the recent history of urban life in Ireland. People are quick to dismiss Shannon, saying it's an ugly town, it doesn't have any community spirit. Well, the town has dozens and dozens and dozens of clubs and organisations that bring us together. And this place, it has inspired writers, painters, musicians and athletes that are known all across Ireland who spent their formative years here in the town. You might say that it looks a bit like Chernobyl, and that's part of the design of the time in which it was built, because the goal was to bring communities together and to change the designs of towns. And while we've moved away from it now, I certainly felt like I was part of a community while I lived here. And I think it's worth it for us to try to show what it has to offer. People like the Rubber Bandits certainly saw value here because they used to come down here and make a lot of their early content right where we stand. There you have it. This is Drumgeely Hill, and we're going to show you something else, a hidden little feature in Shannon that most people don't even know is here. We're going to show you the beautiful Shannon estuary through the Riverwalk, and it's right down here. And we're here in the middle of Shannon Riverwalk. Isn't it beautiful? Look out at the views we have of the Shannon estuary, of the airport. You see the planes coming in, and Drumgeely Hill. But it also feels like you're in the middle of the countryside when we're actually just 5 minutes from some of the housing estates. It's something that a lot of people don't realise about Shannon, is the greenery, the beauty, and how close to nature we are. So next time you're down here, don't just hop on a plane. Take a minute, come down, enjoy the walks, meet some of the people, and get a coffee for yourself and soak in this lovely nature that we're blessed with. Shannon's connection to sport in County Clare is understated, and in particular its involvement or its contribution to the ending of the hurling curse on the Clare team. 80 years it took to break that damn curse, and it was done here on this hill because Gerlach Nan sent the team, led by Anthony Daly, racing up this huge steep hill in Shannon to toughen them up, to make them fearless, to give them endless endurance, which led them to victory in 1995. So we can thank Shannon for having such steep hills that make you knackered and help you feel less guilty when you're going for a pint. Now, Johnny B, let's have a race up Tullyglass Hill. I have a bone to pick with the two Johnnies because they said there's no pub in Shannon. Well, right behind me is the Crossroads Tavern. It was the first licensed premises, and it's been operating since the 60s when Guinness set it up here, and they ran it for many years until it was taken over by some local people who have done a fantastic job. So if you want a bit of culture, if you want to watch a game, you make sure you make it down here and hear some of the stories with the locals. Now, I couldn't bring you to Shannon and not talk about Hastings Farmhouse, where we are right now. It is the most important historic building in the town of Shannon. It dates back to the 1800s, but it was in 1920 when it became significant. Imagine this. It was the middle of the War of Independence, and down near Fermoy in County Cork, some IRA members lay in wait. They lay in wait to ambush General Lucas, and they captured him in a car, and they brought him up here and hid him out. It was the biggest search the British launched in the history of Ireland, trying to recover General Lucas, because he was the highest ranking member of the British military ever captured by Irish paramilitary forces. And he was kept here in good conditions for several months. Now, he was moved around to other places too, but they noted that he would poach with his captors some of the salmon on the River Shannon, and he played cards with them, drank whiskey with them, and after he was released or escaped, he noted that he was a gentleman in the company of gentlemen, that he appreciated the good conditions he was given by his captors. And you know, it's a good story because when we talk about the War of Independence, we talk about the bloodshed, the trauma, how families were torn apart. Sometimes we need a little bit of a silver lining when talking about these harder times, that even when you were on opposite sides of a struggle like that, you could still find the humanity between people. And it's a nice reminder of how Shannon has continued to bring communities together. Lucas and Shannon, with all of their hard work, over the last number of years, because thanks to them, we have got funding to improve and to save Hastings Farmhouse. It had been damaged in a fire and it was washing away, it was overgrown, it was disappearing from the living memory of the town. But thanks to the hard work of the people in this community, they have brought it back to life. And I am so excited to see where we go from here. So there you have it, Shannon, a town of firsts. It has been a pleasure to tell you a little bit about the town, and I hope that you come down and visit us, even the two Johnnies. And if you're from abroad, do spend a night or two in the area, learn what we have to offer. And locals, please take pride in it. Don't be sending them off to farther off places before giving them a chance to sample what we have to offer here on the estuary. I've been Bad Otherworld. If you're coming to the area, be sure to contact me if you'd like a tour or some storytelling here in the town. It would be my pleasure. And have a good day, enjoy the sunshine, and slán go fóill.